So in this lecture, I would like to talk to you about our thoughts, words and deeds. Friends, we are all aware and we have also realized, we have experienced that our brain functions more efficiently than the greatest of the computers ever made. And we need not have to strain ourselves to our daily needs, and all that we have to do is to surrender to him and act. So when any work is done with this attitude, it becomes a worship, and he takes the responsibility for all of our actions. So we are entitled to work and not for the fruits. So the more we concentrate on him, the more will he concentrate on us, and our lives begin to flow like a wonderful dream. So these have been repeatedly promised by all the holy men who walked on this earth. So with the progress of time, there is no doubt that man has conquered the outer world, but unfortunately he has totally neglected the most important inner world, which is the prime cause today for the present state of affairs. So we must take care of the great gifts that the Almighty, the God, has so lovingly given us. So they are nothing but our body, mind and soul. So how much time do we ever give to nourish these wonderful gifts? We have all along neglected them, taken them for granted, and in an illusion, we have spent a lifetime running after toys like your money, power and position. So if we will only realize the transit nature, the temporary nature of all these things that we are so desperate for, we would stop madly chasing them. And happy is the man who may desire anything, prefer few things, but needs nothing. So let us look back at our own life. So what happened to the bicycle that as children we possessed and admired so much? I still remember the day that I got my bicycle. I could not sleep the whole night. And the first time I did in the morning, it was to run it, to polish it, to admire it the whole day long. So I was very possessive about it and would not allow anyone to touch it. So I am sure you also still remember some similar incidents from your childhood. But then, what happened to them as we grew up? So our love and possessiveness for them slowly diminished, disappeared with the time and growth. So when we realize that we are made for bigger things, our desire for small toys just drop off. So also the day we know who we really are, the day we realize the temporary nature of the worldly objects, they will simply drop off and we would be laughing at all the things that we earlier cried for. All the things that we cried for yesterday, we'll laugh at it today. And all the things that we are crying for today, we shall laugh at it tomorrow. But nevertheless, our parents, they try and fulfill the desires and the needs of their children. So although we know that they are really do not mean much, and sooner or later the children will realize them for what they are worth, still the parents do that. So once we reach this stage, we will too stop cutting up people's pockets for a piece of bread. cutting throats for a few pieces of papers, stabbing people in the back for a chair. And I'm not saying that having money or fame and power are bad, but we could have as much of them as we want. So only thing is that we must know their real value, know them for what they are, so that we do not become a wreck when we lose them. And when this is the attitude for these worldly things, then we can concentrate on the real issues in our life. So all of us are chasing these worldly objects. So with just one thing in mind, with just one reason in mind, that is happiness. So we get into an illusion that happiness lies in acquiring the worldly objects like your wealth, honor, fame, power, etc. Actually, happiness, it has nothing to do with any of these things. Happiness is just a state of mind, because we know that the richest people are not the happiest ones. And we have seen how people in power one day can be thrown behind the bars the next day. And happiness, it lies not having everything you want, but in wanting everything you have. So the power and happiness, that depends on the external objects, they are the false ones. If only it can last long as the chair lasts, whereas power and happiness from within, they are the permanent ones. So happiness can be got from reading the unwritten books. They are the books written by nature, which have no language barriers, and we need not go hunting for them, as they are everywhere. And we should learn to observe and appreciate a flower, wonder about its beauty and color. So the rising of the sun, the signing of birds, the singing of the birds, the falling of leaves, the blowing of wind, running of the stream, the waving of treetops, the smiling of children should all arouse a feeling of satisfaction and the fulfillment in our lives. So observe the intelligence within a seed, which has the capacity to produce 1,000 forests. So whenever and wherever you see a bunch of flowers, accept it with grace and gratitude as a banquet from Him, from God, the Almighty, the Creator. So if we are to be really happy, we must find the happiness as we are, in wherever we are doing right now, and in whatever we are doing right now. So if we are not happy as we are, we never will be in any other tomorrow. So our happiness lies in accepting things. Happiness should not therefore depend on any external thing or a person. So most of the time we let our happiness depend on the others or on other things, other persons. If someone loses, we become happy, and others get more than us, we become sad, we become jealous. So happy is the man who can rejoice at the joys of others. So this one should understand. So we have millions of reasons to be happy about. If we will only be aware of all these things that are going right within ourselves, in our human body, in our mind. So even the act of going to the toilet can be an act of joy, as many are wiggling in pain, struggling in pain, not to pass the motion and urine. So when the asthmatics struggle for every single breath of air, others with normal health should be happy. They should know the greatness of God. So if we are in a state of happiness, peace, contentment, etc., then we shall receive everything to keep us in that state. So whereas if we are in a state of want, worry, hatred, etc., then we shall also receive everything to remain in that state of unhappiness only. So children run and play, they smile and they sing, they fight and they forgive. all day long. So they are the bundles of joy and love, and they do not sit and worry. So we should also become children. At least our state of mind should go to that level so that we can also enjoy everything in life and we can really lead a very, very happy